Timcast.com. Drag show protester questioned by police after intentional vandalism cuts power to 40,000 North Carolina residents. Police have yet to name a suspect or announce a potential motive. So the first story is shootings at power substation cause North Carolina outages. Holy crap. I mean, that's really what they're saying. 2 power substations in North Carolina were damaged by gunfire and was being investigated as a criminal act, causing damage that could take days to repair and leaving tens of thousands of people without electricity. A protester who was protesting the drag events posted on Facebook, "The power is out in Moore County and I know why." Emily Grace Rainey on Facebook, on her Facebook page. According to the Daily Beast, around the same time, she posted a photo of the Sunrise Theater, the venue holding the sold-out drag show, using the caption, "God will not be mocked." So police apparently met with this woman. She said that she's sorry for wasting their time, and what she meant to say was that God works in mysterious ways. The implication was more so that the power went out because the Lord was angry, not that they had any information that right-wingers were attacking a power substation, which sounds really stupid as it is. A bunch of conservatives being like, I know how to turn off the power at a single location, shut down the entire grid. Makes no sense. But what does matter is that many of these, many leftist individuals are outright asserting it is true, or at the very least, they're pushing the idea without merit. The police have even said it's not the case. They're posting on Twitter. The escalation is happening. I'm not saying all this, as I mentioned earlier in my other show, to be a black pill. I'm just saying this is happening. And I often point out, when we were seeing these stories 4 years ago, where the left would accuse a right-winger of doing something, I'm like, you realize it doesn't matter if it's true. They believe it anyway. Even when you can prove it. Covington kids, Russiagate, hands up, don't shoot. They don't care. So what happens in a situation like this, where not only now do we have escalation, not only now do we have, Elon Musk saying he's afraid he's going to die, you have the far left outright saying right-wingers are shooting up substations in acts of terror.
One thing I try to do is to, if and when I come into contact with people that believe stuff like that, I try to have the same amount of amazement when they find out they're wrong, to kind of empathize with their amazement as they're realizing, oh, it wasn't targeted. And then I'm like, okay, I get it now, and I feel what you're feeling, as opposed to be like, you idiot, of course it wasn't targeted. Just be there with them while they realize that they were not seeing the truth at the time. That's one.
But they're jumping to conclusions. It's not a truth. It's automatically everything is right wing. It's them. It's the political opponents. That kind of deranged lunacy is dangerous. It's not an individual who's critically thinking or assessing information. That's actually the responsible adult thing to do here is wait until we have evidence. Now we're trying to weaponize everything. It could be a lunatic. It could be a crazy person. It could not even be politically motivated. It could be just some guy or some kid being like, hey, look at what I could do. Just some deranged individual. Who knows who
I got to be honest. It sounds more likely to be climate change activists and Antifa than a right-winger who was upset with one drag event. Mm-hmm. You've got people like Greta Thunberg. How dare you? It's like they want to shut the power off.
Yeah, they want to get rid of oil. They want to get rid of energy. They want to literally create human calamity style events that would devastate humanity, kill millions of people, all because they don't like oil.
Well, let me throw out a hypothetical. What if in protest to all these drag events, the right wing actually started to throw paint on classic paintings that were worth millions of dollars? How would that be covered?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's happy about that, to be honest. Like, they're getting mocked by everybody, the people doing that over the climate change stuff.
The guy who's funding a ton of it is a massive, well-known Hollywood producer. He's put like $3 to $4 million into the organization that is actually doing this. It's pretty funny, and I bring that up because of the hypocrisy of somebody who celebrates art as this big Hollywood producer.
He learned how to weaponize autism and mental illness very effectively, and these children, clearly show us that there is a mental health crisis. Clearly believe they have been so scared that the world is ending because we have politicians like AOC that go on the bully pulpit and like the world's going to end in 8 years. Again, not even quantifying real data, not even going after anything legitimate, but just making things up out of thin air just to radicalize, just to scare people. And then we have these effects of it, which would bring on more pain and suffering to humanity than we could even imagine, which is crazy. But it's interesting to see who finances a lot of this stuff. It's interesting to see the result of this. It's interesting to see the news coverage of this because, they've been trying to push through a lot of these lockdowns, a lot of these restrictions. They're going to be testing some of them out in the United Kingdom for many years now. They couldn't never do it, but then, COVID happened. And now COVID is surely looking like it's going away, so they need something else to, of course, bring on the trauma-based mind control.
I want you guys to imagine something. John Brown's raid on the Harper's Ferry Armory. He made one critical error. He let a train leave. When John Brown and his crew raided the armory, they basically took it. They had it. Information could not travel. But a train was passing through, and they knew what was going on, but he let them go. The train, I think, made its way to Baltimore. I could be wrong about the details, but it basically got out, informed the authorities, who then quickly mustered their forces and then headed to the Harper's Ferry to stop this. Basically, John Brown was trying to cause like a slave uprising or something to that effect. And I'm just thinking about this. Today's day and age, information is instant. Something happens, the tweet goes out. But I'm just thinking about what it must have been like to be on that train, knowing you were the only person carrying the message of this attack, and that if you don't make it in 5 hours' time, or however long it took, 2 or 3 hours, to the city to inform law enforcement, they would take this city, they would have it, and that would be the end of it. It's a crazy concept.
Is this a metaphor for Twitter Files 2.0?
No, it's just understand how vastly different things have become and how that's having an impact on politics.
Yeah, it used to be that you would try and prevent the truth from getting out. Governments would spend time subverting and putting people in prison and things like that. Now it's impossible. The truth, now the idea is to put out so much fake information that the truth blends in and you can't tell what's what.
And this isn't just limited to politics, right? Because I'm obviously going to bring a culinary angle to this, but let me just, it comes to food too. So many headlines people read about food are wrong, and then it affects their dining choices for 10 to 20 years. I've actually gone to the extreme of saying that because of the government headlines about eating seafood being a bad thing, because of all this hypothetical mercury and PCBs, which actually nobody's ever died of mercury poisoning, we eat less seafood. Instead, we eat more meat and chicken, which is high in omega-6 fatty acids, which is the seed oil issue, which is your inflammation, and therefore people are dying at a younger age because of that. It happens in food, it happens in every single industry, and the people who perpetuate these lies, it's the mainstream media. Because yes, you're always going to have people on the right or the left who are going to go out there and tweet obviously outrageous headlines, but when it gets picked up by the media and then basically adds credibility to it, and then they go on with that lie, well, that's when this social cohesion, the fabric starts to rip at the seams, and then we all believe the lie, or many of us do.
So you're saying I should just eat nothing but raw salmon?
You should eat as much seafood as you can.
Really?
6 of the 8 leading causes of death in the United States can be alleviated through the healthy consumption of omega-3 fatty acids, mainly found in seafood.
Is there any problem to overdoing scallops?
Scallops? Well, you might be a little bit higher in cholesterol, but then just cut back on something else.
See, there's a reason I love oysters, and there's so much propaganda against them.
Oysters are vegan.
What? How is that?
Oysters
Oh,
are
no.
vegan.
Stop it. You're going to ruin them for me.
Are they not animals?
No.
Well, think about it. They actually have a negative effect on the environment because they're filter feeders. So they clean the environment. So they have a negative effect, right? I mean, in a good way. And then there's no vertebrae. They're not sentient in any capacity. They're basically vegetables.
But that's like
don't
eating someone that's...
don't insult them this way. Stop it.
Which is why it's delicious.
They're delicious.
We should
They're
be
basically
eating more
vegetables.
oysters.
The poor oysters
Can't
right
they
now are
move around or
screaming
something?
out for real recognition.
Through filter feeding, yeah. But I mean, you can clean entire estuaries just with oysters alone. If you took 100 oysters and put it in a big fish tank full of dirty water and then watch over the next day or so, that water will be clean. And all of the dirt, you think, well, then it must be going into the protein in the food that I eat. No, it doesn't. It actually goes into the shell, which is then calcified, and then you can use that shell ground up as fertilizer or nutrients in soil when you do some sort of organic farming. It's completely closed loop. There's so many solutions to the problems they say that are out there that nobody wants to consider.
There's a lot of conflicting data when it comes to high cholesterol. We should talk about that in just a little bit. But if we could just stay on topic here just a little bit, you made no. You made a very good point, saying people hear one thing and people jump to conclusions without actually doing the work to towards understanding something fully, especially when it comes to diet. I think that's one of the most misunderstood things when it comes to our mainline society, especially with the obesity crisis that we're all dealing with right now, and how people are getting absolutely wrecked and destroyed because of the disinformation and because of the poison poison that's out there. I also think there's a lot of, just like we should be careful about what we put into our bodies, we should be careful about what we put into our minds. And I think a lot of these people have been so traumatized by the echo chambers, by the what's the circles called? Not family-friendly circles of thought that happen on social media, that they've been so radicalized that automatically something bad happens, they're going to point to their political opposition as their main reasonable force behind everything ill and wrong in this world. Just like the Club Q shooting. Again, that story went away very quickly. Why isn't anyone talking about it anymore when there was a certain agenda behind it? Now that the agenda has been questioned somewhat, automatically the story's just dropped by the corporate media when they were talking about this thing like it was the end of the world. Come on. There's a lot of things to really consider here, and especially question.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.